It's a great point, and for us to keep in mind as well on all of the data that's going to be vital anyhow for the next few months. Steve, thanks. Our Steve Leisman. Ida has already snarled distribution and supply chains across the South, and trucking companies are likely to play a critical role in getting supplies to the region. They've actually teamed up with FEMA in the past to do so. Joining me now is JKC Trucking co-owner and vice president Mike Kucharski. Mike, it's good to have you. Welcome. And what's the latest that you're hearing on the ground?
Kelly, thank you for having me on the show. So far, I'm hearing that, a couple things have to happen after a hurricane happens. They have to get accessibility, and there's first thing happens is trucks come through and they clear the roads so the rest of the people come through. Utility workers are being sent in, secondly, to restore power, and three is where we come in, FEMA and the trucking companies, delivery of goods. We take the ability to receive, we have to take the product and have the product received and distributed to the goods to where the people need it the most.
Yeah, and I understand you guys specialize in refrigerated trucking. Explain how important that is.
Correct. It's very important. So as soon as let's say Louisiana loses power, everything in the Walmart will lose refrigeration and will be automatically thrown out. So they're gonna have to replenish that very quickly. So Walmart's gonna obviously, order more product to come in, and if those stores get up and running, we have to replenish that. But first, before the refrigeration and stuff comes through, right now they're sending tarps, water, etc., and the food's gonna follow very shortly behind that.
Tell me what it's like, these stories are going around where, I read that, a typical truck driver salary is now something like $85,000, maybe higher. Are those extreme cases of what's going on in your industry, or is that becoming fairly common? And what's the impact in terms of you guys able to find enough people to drive the trucks and keep these supply chains going?
Yeah, so the biggest issue is there's no capacity to haul this product. Currently the U.S. is short 20 to 25% of all truck drivers. We are constantly recruiting to get truck drivers going, but what has happened? The prices have skyrocketed. Labor's costs skyrocketed. For example, JKC used to pay above average per mile, and we had to increase another 5 cents because the competition increased it, so we don't lose drivers, so we can hold on and keep the wheels rolling. We have less trucks rolling, but we're trying to keep the supply chain going right now, and it's until the economy, until America opens up and all the workers come back, that's going to be kind of a struggle because we need kind of all hands on deck. Our biggest issue that we're having now is when we go to these distribution centers, there's not enough labor to unload the product. Wow. And we're being held up, and that slows down the supply chain.
Where did all your drivers go, and how much is your typical pay at this point?
Well, how's this? Let's say you and I jumped in two different trucks, and we ran from Chicago to Los Angeles and back. We get paid 60 cents per mile for 4,000 miles. That's, it's over $1,500. That's a good pay for 6 days of work.
Got it. And where did all the drivers go?
Well, the drivers are scattered through. Well, some of the drivers that are missing are still, sheltering at home. A lot of my drivers said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to stay back at home because I have children or I have the wife that has, issues, and I want to stay and protect them and be with them to help them until this COVID thing passes." So they're sitting at home.
Yeah, that is just so interesting. All the different effects this has had in the storm on top of it as well. Great point too about refrigerated trucking. Mike, thanks for joining us today.